Yes. No, no need to. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's just a resolution.
It's in the resolution. You don't have to have
Yeah, that's great. I love it. That's simple ask.
Oh.
That's the, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's extra money. All right, boys and girls, you ready? Very good, let's do this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to get things started here at 7:25. We have a couple public hearings that have to happen. So if you will stand with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Afterwards, I'd ask to remain standing for a few moments so that we can recognize the moment of silence for the U.S. service members who have passed away over the past few days in Iran and Jordan. There you go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right, in order of importance here on the agenda, let's go with the warrants first. That out of the way, Madam Clerk.
We have a, well, it looks like a warrant for several things. It looks like a utility warrant, and then the general warrant, and the total they show is $36,157.90.
That is correct, Madam Clerk. So moved.
Motion,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye. Those extensions I carry. All right, we can move on now to the heavier lift for the evening. Let's start with the public hearings. Madam Clerk, can you read the announcement?
Please take notice that public hearing will be held by the town of Wallkill on July 23rd, 2026 at 7:25 p.m. at Wallkill Town Hall regarding the adoption of a local law amending section 233-7 of the town code regarding the placement of no parking here to corner signs at the following intersection. A no parking sign on Wayne Court at the intersection of Silver Lake Scotchtown Road, 50 feet from the intersection on both sides of the road. Any resident of the town of Wallkill is entitled to be heard upon said proposed local law in such public hearing. Copies of the proposed local law are available for review at Wallkill Town Hall, 99 Taylor Drive, Building A, Middletown. A copy of the proposed local law may be reviewed at the town hall at the address listed above during normal business hours. Written comments may be submitted prior to or at the public hearing. Oral comments will be made at the public hearing. Persons may appear in person or by agent. The town of Wallkill make every effort to ensure the hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and/or reasonable accommodation should contact the town clerk. By order of the town board of the town of Wallkill, Louisa Grassi, town clerk.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. At this time, we will open the floor to this public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak on this topic may do so. Please find your way up to the podium. We ask that you state your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes to speak on this topic.
Hi. I'd love to speak about this. My name is Alyssa Baez. My address is 127 Elise Drive, Middletown, New York, 10941. I am a mom of a 2-year-old who attends daycare on Wayne Court, and there's a family that parks past the stop sign, which allows for a really dangerous situation when there's oncoming traffic from the left side, where there's trees blocking the oncoming traffic, and then their car is in the way. So I would have to go around them and be in the middle of the street in order to see the oncoming traffic. just causes for a really dangerous situation. There's a lot of parents there dropping their children off. The residents there are, I'm sure will benefit from that as well. So I just would hope that we can pass this and get some just space blocked so that there's no cars close to the stop sign.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone on the dais wish to speak?
I would say that I think this is a much better approach than what was originally presented. We're looking at doing no commercial vehicles townwide. So this is basically addressing the problem that is there. It's a much better solution. So I think we should definitely pass it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I think they're two different issues, right? But
I think they might be.
yeah, my apologies. But this is, in my opinion, a no-brainer. Site distance pulling off of Facility Sunshine Road. And if there's cars there coming out and having to, be further out in the middle of the lane in order to make the turn, it's a no-brainer, so all for it.
Appreciate the board taking this up. It's a Ward 2 location, and yes, it is dangerous to make that turn with any obstruction. I'm in favor of it.
Thank you very much. Councilman Vanella?
Definitely in favor of this. Common sense.
I will ditto my councilman here. I think this is a no-brainer. With that, Madam Clerk, I'll move to close the public hearing at this time. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Vanilla, all in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, read the notice on the second public hearing for this evening.
Notice is hereby given that the town of Wallkill will hold a public hearing with close local law adopting a new chapter 249-63 of the zoning code of the town of Wallkill to regulate battery energy storage systems on July 23rd at 7:25 p.m. at Wallkill Town Hall, 99 Tower Drive, Building A, Middletown, New York, in the boardroom thereof, at which all wishing to be heard will be heard. Copies of the proposed local law are available for review at the town clerk's office and on its website. The town of Wallkill make every effort to ensure the hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities, anyone requiring special assistance and or reasonable accommodations to contact the town clerk by order of the town board, the town of Wallkill, Louise and Ramsey, town clerk. And I would add that we do have 3 letters correspondence, all of which are in support of the local law, and they'll be made part of the record.
Very much, Madam Clerk. At this time, again, we will open the floor to individuals wishing to speak on this topic. Again, we ask that you approach the podium, state your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes to discuss this topic.
Hi, I'm Marcia Du Bois. I am the property manager at the Wallkill Living Center. You probably have my letter. I am here in support of the BESS law and specifically Carson Power. They came to the Wallkill Living Center, presented the entire project, what it covers, what it contains, what it does, what the safety features are. They then had another meeting with my residents where they spent a few hours with them answering questions and fed them. We always like it when they feed our residents. It's, to me, it's another thing that seems like a no-brainer. They're going to beautify the area. The parking lot where they're looking to put it right now is an eyesore. It's filled with snow plows and landscaping equipment and just looks bad. They're gonna fence around it, more landscaping along the sidewalk that goes from the Wallkill Living Center to the Price Chopper. They're gonna put in a pet park for us because my residents asked for it. Which is always nice. With the landscaping, they've definitely earned our trust that they're gonna do it the right way and do the right thing.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening, everyone. Again, we're going to need battery storage.
My name is Dean Tambora. I'm with Labor's Local 17. The building trades had submitted a letter. They have committed to working with the trades and using local labor to build this project. So we're glad to see these projects come in. Glad to hear that they're doing good by the community as well. So we see these projects, and this looks like to be a good one as well. So battery storage is very important, added to all the solar projects to make it efficient. So thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next. Anyone?
One more.
Yeah. I think maybe more than one more. Yep.
Maybe one more after me.
Okay.
Well, thanks again, and good to be in front of you guys once more. As the board knows, like, first of all, Andrew Gordon, 39 Broadway, New York City. Carson Power has two projects in front of the board. I represent Carson Power. In front of the planning board, and those applications have been in front of the planning board coming up on about 8 months. And I want to emphasize the amount of work and effort that the company has undertaken and the investment that we've made in those applications to work with the planning board to make adjustments to the applications. We've added quite a few safety features, and the spirit of our development has been to emphasize safety, responsible siting, and leaning into feedback in any way we can from the board. I want to commend the town board for the undertaking of adopting the new BESS law. Again, it's a new technology. These won't be the last applications you see, and it is wise to regulate them in that way. However, as you can imagine, that is extremely challenging for a developer. We're a small business. We only have a handful of projects we work on every year. To see that, the work we've put in with the planning board over the course of the entirety of this year, to now be challenged by the existence of a new regulation. I know that you understand that. And we hope that, the board will take some of the feedback that we've provided seriously. We've sent in quite a bit of information about safety, and we're happy to answer any additional questions. And we really hope that at the end of the day, there's a responsible law put in place that everybody can be proud of, and will also allow our projects to move forward. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Keely Firth. I'm here with Sole Source Power. I didn't submit my letters ahead of time, but I have them here printed, so I'm just gonna hand them out. Yeah. Oh, might have it.
Thank you.
Just should be under 3 minutes here, so I'll just read it aloud as well. Just for starters, we're Sole Source is also developing a project here in the town of Wallkill. And I am definitely in support of the law. Just have one recommended change and then one recommended clarification. It's not quite a real change. So good evening, my name is Keely Firth and I'm here on behalf of Sole Source Power. We are currently permitting Wallkill BESS 1 LLC, a 5 megawatt battery energy storage project on Route 302. This project is sited on roughly 24-acre parcel, zoned enterprise light according to the zoning map, with a footprint of less than half an acre and disturbing less than an acre. The project has received positive feedback from the planning department so far. I would like to thank everyone here for creating a clear regulatory framework for battery energy storage. As I said earlier, I'm requesting 2 changes. I believe that make the law fair and a bit more workable without weakening its safety or land use goals. Firstly, I would like to request that applications already submitted to the planning board before this law takes effect to be allowed to proceed under the town's existing public utility pathway. Section 4.2 only grandfather systems already built, not applications under active review. And section 15 makes the law effective immediately with no transition period. A project like ours, which has been in development for just about over 6 months, could be pulled out from under the process it relied on in good faith thus far. I would like to ask a simple transition provision such as applications submitted before the effective date may continue under the existing pathway and are not subject to this local law. Secondly, and here's the just kind of slight clarification. I would like to request that allowable zoning districts for tier 2 systems be clarified. Section 262A limits tier 2 systems to districts where warehouses are permitted principal use without naming them. For example, it's my understanding that parcels with frontage along 302 between the I-86 interchange and New York State Route 17M are automatically zoned enterprise and permit warehouses. Therefore, these parcels should already be compliant. Simply asking that the law states that fact a bit more clearly, so well-cited sites, like ours, for example, are not left in ambiguity. I am happy to serve as a resource to the board as we finalize this law and welcome the chance to discuss either request further or answer any questions about better storage more generally. Thank you so much for the time tonight and allowing me the opportunity to comment.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further comments? All right, we'll turn our attention up to the dais. I'll start with Ward 1. Councilman Coyne.
Sure, so I'm really not sold on this at all. I understand with all these safety features and whatnot, you can put together a nice portfolio, but you know, the fact of the matter is these things catch fire. There is no way to put them out. The way to put them out is to let them burn. And that's it. And I know we can say this, you know, the air quality is fine, you know. That's what the EPA said after 9/11 too. And thousands of people dying of cancer, living with cancer from those neighborhoods. You know, I understand that the fire is contained and it's basically at the footprint. But the smoke goes where the wind goes, where the breeze goes. This one I'm looking, I didn't even know about this one. This application near 302 and I-86. So, and I don't know the north, south, east, west, but basically right behind that, you've got apartments. You've got a neighborhood. Crane Road is back that way. The apartments are over behind that. You know, I don't know, man. I feel like it's the new thing. It's the new, and the other thing is how much do the residents actually benefit, right? Battery gets drained in like 3 hours after charging overnight, and during peak time it'll feed the grid. But you know, you got thousands of people that are taking energy from the grid. I mean, what are we really going to save? A couple of pennies? So for a couple of pennies, we'll risk the toxic air. I just, to me, if I had it my way, we'd put a moratorium on this thing and give it some time. It's to me, it's new. I'm not saying I'm scared of new, but you know, I'm gonna be 52 years old, and I've seen too many new things. The greatest next best thing turn out to be not good for the public. Remember what they said about asbestos, right? Miracle mineral. Now it's known that was just horrific for people. So I don't know. That's just the way I feel, guys. I mean, I don't even know about this whole warehouse thing, you know. I know that, you know, putting them in warehouse zones because of this, to be quite honest. I'm thinking over by the new entrance and exit off of Crystal Run. I'm thinking over there to myself, and I'm like, well, there's businesses over there. There's hotels too, but maybe it's far enough away. I don't know. Now this one is, and they're just gonna keep going, and we're gonna have a bunch of these, and what's gonna happen? You know, the new latest and greatest is gonna come out, make this obsolete. I'm just, I don't like it. That's all.
Thank you very much, Mark. Don?
Thanks very much, and I share much of Councilman's sentiment, although I'm apt to weigh the amount of time that the zoning board, planning board put into something to make their recommendations. I am not in favor of it being anywhere near residences. The downside of having people literally say, what, fire department isn't going to do anything? Because that is the prescription, wait it out, is not one that I'm in favor of. So not in favor of it being anywhere near possible of harming residents. And for an outstanding presentation being made by the company to be the potential number 4 in the state doesn't fill me with a great deal of confidence either. I like to, when it comes to public safety, be more tried and true. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilman Vanilla.
I'm all about big business. I'm all about business. I just don't see currently where this location of this unit is going to be. How it outweighs the problems that it could possibly create. So, my gut is telling me that I have to do more investigating. I have to learn more about it. People out there, they've been great. They've explained a lot of things to us. But at the end of the day, we're here for the community, not one building. And that's what it comes down to. So, again, this is gonna be kicked around by all of us for a bit. That's why we're having this talk right now. So. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Councilman Johnson.
Supervisor. So, again, you've heard that we have to balance residents' concerns, businesses' concerns, right? That's what we do. We have to make sure that everything is addressed and look under every rock and check everything out before something is done. You've heard me mention that this law has a lot of ambiguity in it, has a lot of things that probably shouldn't be there. One of the things separating tier 1 and tier 2 sources, if it's under 600, I think it's 600 megawatts, it's not going to be, it's tier 1, it can be in residential. I think that should just be removed completely. I believe the county said the same thing when they looked at this law. They had a lot of concerns and things in there that just didn't really flow as well as it should. So I think there's a lot of things in here that need to be addressed before this law can be adopted. You heard it mentioned that it doesn't even specify a zone that it's allowed in. It says where warehouses currently are. Well, we're going through changes where they're currently permitted and where they might in the future be permitted, and things are changing. So I think it's much clearer to say it's allowed in this zone. And the second big concern is this, right? It should be so many feet from existing buildings in that zone, whatever that is, 100 feet, 200 feet, because when it burns, it burns. And secondly, the distance from residential, I mean, even less than a quarter of a mile is way too close. And so, that's 1,320 feet. It's not really that far. So if you pictured one of these, multiple storage units going up, 1,300 feet from your house, it's way too close. They come do presentations, which are good. They address a lot of concerns and explain a lot of the science. But I question a lot of the science because, as we know, anytime you're taking data, you manipulate those numbers to show what you want them to show. That's what scientists do. That's what you don't have to shake your head. I mean, it's clear. Did they tell me what the sample was right underneath the thing that burned in Warwick? No. They took samples on a grid at 50-foot spacing around it. Give me the number underneath that for lead. Give me the number for heavy metals because it wasn't done, right? So clearly you will dig that up, but the contamination is there. It moves into the ground, moves into the groundwater, and it becomes an issue. So again, if you look at where these could be cited, if you're not drinking the groundwater there, it's not really that much of a concern. There's probably already a lot of contamination in industrial zones anyway, but that's where these should be cited, nowhere near residential. So again, I think it's clear that it should say in a specific zone, right, which would probably be enterprise. So enterprise zone, permitted use, and spacing between existing structures and residential. That's really all it needs. It doesn't need 19 pages of this. It could be very clear and straightforward, they're permitted here. And, you heard the benefit. There is definitely a benefit. Whenever you have extra power to go back into the grid, that is a benefit because the cost, like when we had the 105 degrees days a few weeks ago, the cost then on the market for kilowatt hours through the roof, and you're going to be paying that. So again, you heard, well, if you were at our presentations or on Zoom for them, these aren't designed to go in a place where they're going to be, over the lines and down the road. They're designed to be in locations where the need for the power is, right? So they're not going to be, I guess the best way to say it is they're going to be in distribution zones, lines for distribution, not lines for generation. So you're not going to put one in, our generation substations like in Port Jervis on routes, that come over line 6 all the way to Middletown. That's not what they're designed to do. They're designed to be where you need the load. So they will definitely provide a benefit as far as cost for electricity. And we all know that the fear of AI is gonna gobble any electricity we're ever gonna need, so that's another concern, but on peak days when we're using a lot, we don't have the baseline we used to have when we had nuclear, like Indian Point, right? That was on all the time. So once you have a system like that, it's baseline. It's on for peak demand, it's on for off-peak demand, it's always producing electricity for the system. But once you close something like that and try and replace it with a natural gas power plant way on that's only when it's burning, right? And when it's burning at its peak power. So by getting rid of peak demand stuff and trying to replace it with other things that are not on all the time, we're certainly going to have an issue with the amount of energy that's available when it's needed. Something like this, although batteries are very old technology, I mean, from the 30s, the technology is not anything new and great. It's pretty rudimentary. It still is a source of power that's banked for when you need it. It might not be 8 or 10 hours, like you heard Councilman Coyne say. It might only be for a few hours, but if it's charging the batteries overnight when we're sleeping and businesses are closed and lights are off, there's power in the system to do that. And then throughout the day, when you need the highest, it's not 900 degrees and 6 o'clock in the morning. It's not till 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the radiated heat from the earth is meeting the incoming solar radiation from the sun and really baking temperature and making it hot. So that's when you would need it, from like 2 to 5. And the batteries could certainly provide that. So I think the key is we could make a much cleaner law, one that is straightforward, allows for these to exist in areas where there's minimal impact to the residents, and the benefit is there for them. Again, you heard me say, I really have a lot of issues, a lot of stuff in here. I don't think they should be anywhere near residential. And making a tier 1 and a tier 2 designation just don't even have tier 1, right? So this is, if you have, I'm trying to find it in here where it said it's 600 kilowatts, right? So anything under 600 kilowatts is tier 1, anything over 600 is tier 2. So 601 is tier 2, but 600 is tier 1, which means it could be in residential. That's not very clear here, right? That doesn't make sense. You can't, it should not be anywhere there's people. And I think the members of this board would agree with me on that, Steve. So I think we have some work to do on this. I am clearly not ready to vote on it tonight. And if anybody on the board is, I would make a recommendation to keep the public hearing open so we can continue to discuss this. That is my recommendation. So we can make the changes that need to happen. If you looked at the recommendations from the county and from our own planning board, there was a lot of problems in here that weren't addressed. I think we really need to address those.
Thank you very much. I will say a couple things that I think stand out here in this discussion that I've heard a lot in repetition across the dais. And one of the things that I can tell you in my advocacy years is that very frequently what will happen in situations like this where we have a public forum and have dialogue about that is that those public forums tend to be a little bit outweighted. The folks that are really interested in having a thing done tend to show up and say lots of words. The folks that are not really paying attention, and that's most of the rest of them, discover a thing after the fact and then have lots to say about it. And as you've heard a couple times here, the responsibility of this day is just to think about all of the people in the town and not focus on just the squeakiest of wheels. To that end, I'm going to say that if you know me, you know I'm a big environmentalist, and to that end, I do believe that battery storage facilities are probably going to be in our future. As you've already heard, we have a battery storage project that has been greenlit already at planning, and that process was the impetus, quite literally, to begin the discussion about what it means to have battery storage in town and where those belong. Certainly, this is not a new process. This has happened a number of times, most recently with the frequent conversations around the warehouses that we've been having discussions on over the past few years, and now this. And so I do believe that maybe Mr. Coyne is correct that, it's the new thing. It's the new project thing that will show up at municipalities, and it has shown up at ours. I also agree that this might be at least some portion of our future, so we should think very wisely about how we proceed forward. But I will also say that I am, I was a first responder at 9/11. I have lung issues because that air was perfectly fine. I would just remind everybody sitting in this room that last week there was a wonderful odor in the air. And the odor in the air was from smoke, albeit a lot of smoke from a fire that was burning many, many, many miles away. And the interesting thing about that smoke was that it was different than the first time we had smoke in the area, because for those of you who might have recognized the smoke, there was burning plastic in that smoke. Why do I know what burning plastic smells like? It's burned into my nose. And anybody who is down on the pile knows that. They know that smell really, really well. Anybody who's lived in southern New York City or in Brooklyn knows that smell, because that smell lasted right up until Thanksgiving of that year. And the reality of this is that a contained fire that is allowed to burn to extinguish is still a fire that is burning. And that's a real thing. So I appreciate that there are studies that say that perhaps the air is a quality of breathable. I would question what quality of breathable is when most of the items that are on fire are items that are either made of petroleum product, plastics, and or heavy metals. Again, first person experience. That said, I also agree that there obviously is still a lot to dig through, and that there is certainly a conversation that needs to continue to happen so that we can tailor this law and make it appropriate for the town. Because as I said, there's already a project that's been greenlit. We are open to these types of projects, obviously. And it's not as though we are interested even in this law, as flawed as it might be. Even in this law, it's not as though we are striking out and saying that the town doesn't want battery storage systems at all. What we want to do is we want to be mindful of it. So to that end, I'm going to move to keep the public hearing open.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Johnson. All in favor? Aye. So the public hearing will remain open. Yes.
May I say
Yes.
one thing? To the breadth of the law, and I say this for the benefit of the public because the public hearing is being held open. The breadth of the law is because of the newness of the issue and the multiple ways that different municipalities have dealt with it, and there was always an expectation that a lot of work would have to be done on, because this town, your town, has to decide what they want in, what they want out. The other important feature of it, so it's not about particular projects, although that may have been the impetus, but as the supervisor said, we really encourage participation on the concept of how your town regulates these facilities in general. Because one of the things that your other boards are looking at is, right now they are, like the planning board and the ZBA, are dealing with these questions without a clear set of guidelines tailored specifically to this technology. So that can be frustrating for applicants, it can be frustrating for the boards. So wherever the board lands on how it wants to regulate them, the regulation is important so that the boards are all in lockstep on how the town wants to handle this. So again, just encourage people to understand, as the supervisor said, that this is a technology that's going to be around for a little while, until, as Mr. Coyne says, maybe it's not, but come out and read the law, research the law, come out and talk about it, because it's not just about the couple of projects that are live right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for indulging.
All right, so with that said, we'll leave the public comment open. Certainly anybody who's wishing to speak to us directly, obviously you're encouraged to do so at the next meeting, and we'll leave that open for discussion at the next meeting. But I'd also encourage anyone with an earshot who may not be in the audience, or those of you who are in the audience wish to jot down your ideas on paper and send them to us, please by all means do so. You can do that care of my office or care of the clerk's office.
Or our emails.
Or our emails. You can email us all direct. All right, with that, we come to our next section on the agenda, which is Ava Rodriguez. Has made a request to presentation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ava and I'm 8 years old. On behalf of all the kids at Kitchen Children, I want to say thank you to the town of Wallkill for giving us this amazing bus. This isn't just a bus. To us, it's a way to have more adventures, make new friends, and learn about our community. It means we can visit museums, parks, libraries, volunteer, and go to fun activities that help us grow. Sometimes getting places isn't easy for every family because of your kindness. More children will have the chance to include and experience things they may never have been able to before. Thank you to the town board, the town supervisor, and everyone who made this donation possible. Your generosity shows that you believe in kids like us and in giving every child the opportunity to learn, explore, and belong. We promise to take good care of our new bus and make lots of wonderful memories in it. Thank you for believing in us and thank you for helping us reach our dreams. Have a wonderful evening.
Oh, my goodness.
And now we have something to present to you.
This award certificate goes to Frank Den Dalto.
Yeah. Good job.
Okay.
This certificate goes to Mark Boyd.
It's in script, so.
Yeah, This certificate goes to Don Stelly. This certificate goes to Stephen Vanilla.
And we're hard. That one goes to, I know.
Eric Johnson.
Great job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll come to you, hold on.
Great job. Good job. Stand right there. Stand right there. Ava, stand right there, like you're gonna hand it out.
We're chasing you.
Ava, you want to? I'm over there.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Don, I'm pulling the.
Good job.
the
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Right, and then.
Good job on
Stand together.
All right, yes.
Ms. Amanda Rodriguez, the founder and president of Save the Children.
Thank you, and I'm grateful for everything that you're doing. And thank you, thank you.
Get together.
It's me, just like-
And go to the pictures, go next to your mama.
Here, we're gonna look over here. 1, 2, 3.
New bus.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
That was excellent. Thank you again. That was wonderful. All right, so we get to come to the next public participation section here. This is a 3-minute section where you can speak on any agenda item that is on our agenda currently. Again, same rules apply. You're welcome to come to the podium. Please state your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes to speak to us on any agenda item. Yeah,
Am I
please.
allowed to ask about the battery thing, or no, that's?
No, it's on the agenda for sure.
It's still open to hearing.
Gina Crawford. I'm with the Police Community Council, Rockwell Avenue. Just a question, when Mark was talking about the fire, potential fire and the air quality, as you alluded to as well, if the fire is burning and it has to burn out, would it go out as well into like the grass?
So we can speak to that actually, because we were well informed by the Carson folks that the fire is contained and the design of the structure is such that it does exactly that. It contains the fire so that it doesn't leave the footprint at all.
As well as the site.
As well as the site.
Okay.
So, yes.
And then also, as Eric alluded to, if he was mentioning something about something possibly seeping into the ground.
I'll let Mr. Johnson speak to that. Yes, heavy
So
metal.
my question is, he mentioned waterways, maybe aquifers, whatever, I don't know, I'm not sure what on 302, what if they're wells, city water, but I would like you to also look into fields, streams, any viable water that any animals would be drinking at that time as well. So.
Thank you. We'll take that under advisement for sure.
Okay, appreciate it.
Anyone else? All right, then we will move on then. Madam Clerk, correspondence for today that were not associated with the public hearings.
There is no correspondence.
Outstanding. Thank you very much. Then let's move to resolutions if we will. Madam Clerk, read resolutions.
Resolution of Town Board of the Town of Wallkill adopting local law amending chapter 233, section 7 of the Town Code of the Town of Wallkill, New York, prohibiting parking at certain locations in the Town of Wallkill. Whereas a local law was duly introduced, circulated among town board members, and the public hearing scheduled and held on July 23rd, at which all wishing to be heard were heard. The following proposed local law. Chapter 233, vehicles and traffic, parking prohibited at certain locations, shall be and is hereby amended from the local law as follows. No parking here in corner sign on Wayne Court at the intersection of Silver Lake Scotchtown Road, 50 feet from the intersection of both sides of the road. Therefore be it enacted, the Town Board of the Town of Wallkill, County of Orange, State of New York as follows. The proposed local law entitled prohibited parking at certain locations in the Town of Wallkill, identified as local law number 11 of 2026, in the form of the local law attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference is hereby adopted. The town clerk and such other officers and employees of the town may be appropriate, are authorized and directed to take all necessary actions to file this local law with the Secretary of State. The local law shall take effect immediately upon the filing with the Secretary of State. I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Coyne.
Yes.
Mr. Solaire.
Yes.
Mr. Vanilla.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Supervisor Tindall.
Yes, ma'am.
Resolution of Town of the Town of Wallkill assigning a part-time dispatcher to a temporary full-time position as a police dispatcher. Now therefore be hereby resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Wallkill hereby appoints Walilda Lord to the temporary position of full-time dispatcher to serve at a maximum of 40 hours per week in said capacity in the police dispatch office from July 15, 2026 to November 15, 2026. Provided that all appropriate documentation is submitted and accepted by the Orange County Department of Human Resources, civil service. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Solaire.
yes.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson. Okay, yes,
That was a yes.
I'm sorry. Supervisor, Devanto.
That will be a yes as well.
Resolution of Town of Walker authorizing the release of the Adams Ferry Farms cash performance bond. Now therefore hereby resolved, cash performance bond associated with resolution number 10 of 2025 for the Adams Ferry Farms posted for the project in the amount of $10,000 is hereby released. And two, all town officers are empowered to release such bonds and sureties as are authorized herein once any unpaid inspection, professional and or outstanding fees are paid. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Solaire.
Yes.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Supervisor Devanto.
Yes, ma'am.
Resolution of Town of Wallkill authorizing the reduction of performance bond associated with the project known as RDM Warehouse at 599 East Main Street, section 78-1-94.13. Therefore, be resolved that the reduction of the original current performance bond in the amount, in place with the town for the project from $3,334,102.92 to $3,057,303.69 is approved. All town officers are empowered to release and accept such bonds and sureties as are authorized herein once any unpaid inspection, professional, and other outstanding fees are paid. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Solaire,
Yes.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Supervisor Devanto.
Yes, ma'am.
Resolution of Town of Wallkill authorizing the release of the new energy solar Tice Lane tree clearing bond. Therefore hereby resolved the performance bond associated with resolution number 120 of 2025 for the Tice Lane 1 and 2 tree clearing posted for the project in the amount of $222,245 is hereby released. And two, any remaining construction and inspection escrow held by the planning board be applied to the current project construction escrow. And three, all town officers are empowered to release such bonds and sureties as are authorized herein once any unpaid inspection, professional and or outstanding fees are paid. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Swain,
Yes.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Supervisor Devanto.
Yes, ma'am.
Resolution of Town of Walker introducing for consideration a proposed local law concerning the offices of town supervisor and town council, scheduling a public hearing, determining mandatory referendum, providing for submission of a proposition to the electors, and authorizing related actions and filings. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Wallkill, Orange County, New York as follows. The proposed local law entitled Local Law Providing for a New Code Section related to the offices of town supervisor and town council, identified as local law number 12 of 2026, adding a new chapter 20 to the Wallkill Town Code, providing for a new code section related to the offices of town supervisor and town council, is hereby introduced for consideration. A copy of the proposed local law is attached to this resolution and made part hereof by reference. A public hearing on the proposed local law shall be held on July 29, 2026 at 7:25 p.m. at 99 Tower Drive, Town of Wallkill, New York. The publishing of legally sufficient notice of which by the town clerk is hereby ratified. The town board hereby determines that the proposed local law is subject to a mandatory referendum. This resolution shall take effect immediately. The effective date of any local law adopted pursuant hereto shall be determined in accordance with Municipal Home Rule Law, Section 27, and the results of the mandatory referendum. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Coyne.
No.
Mr. Solaire.
Yes.
Mr. Vanilla.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson.
No.
Supervisor Donato.
Yes.
Resolution of Town of Wallkill changing the July 29 work session meeting to a regular meeting of the town board. Therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Wallkill weekly work session scheduled for Wednesday, July 29, 2026 will be conducted as a regular meeting of the town board in the boardroom thereof at 7:30 p.m., which may at the town board's discretion be preceded by a work session commencing no earlier than 7 p.m., which meeting, if conducted, will be held at the Supervisors Conference Room at 99 Tower Drive, Building A, Middletown, New York, and the boardroom thereof, in order to hold public hearings scheduled for the date prior to the town's revised schedule of monthly meetings. The town clerk is directed to publish notice of same in the customary manner. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's discussion. What's the purpose of moving the meeting from a work session to a town meeting on a Wednesday?
Man.
Yeah.
It has to do with the timing required in order to get that local law on a referendum. There's an August 3rd
It
deadline.
needs 90 days, but it doesn't give the public a chance to address something as, you know, significant, changing the town charter. I really feel if you're gonna do that, it should be a town meeting, not a meeting that you moved and made up, but it just doesn't seem right for the public not having the ability to know that there's a meeting every other Thursday. Let me look at the agenda, let me be there. We're also doing it in July, the end of July when families are on vacation. I kind of feel like we're a little side skirting legality here and doing stuff a little on shade side. I mean, if this was something that should be done, it probably should have been done, you know, on the up and up and legit. So I really don't. I'm not gonna vote to move the meeting to a public meeting, so you can just run this through without the public's ability to come and speak. So,
Well, there will be a public hearing.
yeah, but the public hearing will be a normal work session, not a town meeting. And again, you know, you're doing it 5 days when people are on vacation. You really wanna do this, you know, it should have been started in February. And you should have had meetings and you should have left the public hearing open so people have a chance to put written comments in and stuff. I get that this has to be done 90 days before the actual election, which is why we're forcing this through, but it doesn't seem right that, you know, our failure to plan became an emergency on our part to address this. It's just what I'm saying.
Heard, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Coyne,
No.
Mr. Soleo,
Yes.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
No,
Supervisor Tonto.
Yes.
Resolution of Town of Wallkill authorizing the Commissioner of Public Works to solicit bids for uniform services. Resolved as follows: the town board hereby authorizes and directs the Town of Wallkill Commissioner of Public Works to solicit bids from interested parties for the provision of uniform services, and to thereafter report back to the town board with the results of said proposals. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Soleo,
Yes.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson, Supervisor Tonto.
Yes, ma'am.
Resolution of the town board, town of Wallkill authorizing the transfer of funds. Hereby resolved, the town board hereby authorizes and directs the town comptroller to transfer funds with respect to the 26 town budget as follows: from A 3120.233 police vehicle, $30,000, to A 0.082.1 national layout, $30,000. This transfer adjusts funds necessary to cover expenses for the national layout and will be reimbursed by the town of Wallkill Police Community Council. And a motion,
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Solano,
Yes.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson. Supervisor Tonto.
Yes, ma'am.
Resolution of the town of Wallkill authorizing the reduction of the performance bond associated with the project known as 12th Rock Ministries at 449 Hope Road, section 69-1-64.22. Therefore, be it resolved that the reduction of the original current performance bond in place with the town for the project from $3,334,102.92 to $3,057,303.69 is approved. All town officers are empowered to release and accept such bonds and surety as are authorized herein once any unpaid inspection, professional, or other outstanding fees are paid. And a motion,
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Solano,
Yes.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Supervisor Tonto.
Yes, ma'am.
Resolution of the town of Wallkill updates to staff pay rates at the town day camp and lifeguards for the summer of 2026. Resolved, the town board of the town of Wallkill hereby approve the pay rate adjustments to the following individuals to the summer camp staff and lifeguard positions listed below to serve in said capacities at the salaries noted effective during their seasonal employment for the summer of 2026. And then you have, a great list of individuals and the differences in their pay. Do you need me to read those?
I do not know.
No.
I don't believe so. Gentlemen?
No.
Resounding no. Carry on.
A motion,
So moved.
Second,
Mr. Donato,
Yes.
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Solayo,
yes.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Every so often, just to keep you on your toes. Just to keep you on your toes.
The town certifying and approving the application of the town of Wallkill Police Chief for a waiver under section 211 of the Retirement and Social Security Law. Whereas it's the opinion of the town of Wallkill as the appropriate appointing authority that Chief Hartman is qualified to continue to serve as police chief of the town of Wallkill Police Department. And that the waiver application under section 211 of the New York State Retirement and Social Security Act to be prepared on behalf of Chief Hartman should be executed by the town supervisor and submitted to the New York State Civil Service Commission. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Wallkill hereby approves the waiver application of the town of Wallkill Police Chief Robert C. Herman pursuant to section 211 of the New York State Retirement and Social Security Act for a 2-year period from October 1, 2026 through September 30th, 2028. And it is further resolved the town supervisor is authorized to execute and deliver the appropriate section 211 application to the New York State Civil Service Commission after determining that the applicable criteria prescribed for approval under section 211 have been satisfied. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Everybody.
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Solayo,
yes.
Mr. Vanilla,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Supervisor Donato.
Absolutely.
That's all I have, sir.
Very good. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. All right, that brings us to our second public participation section. This one's a little bit different. This time you get to talk to us about anything that the town is dealing with at all. It doesn't have to be on this agenda, it can be on any other agenda item or anything in general that might pertain to the town. Again, we ask you to come to the podium, state your name and address, and then you will have 3 minutes to discuss whatever you'd like.
Good evening, everyone. Is this on?
Yes, it's green.
I
No
guess
green
it's
button.
Okay. I almost killed 2 children today.
Well, that's not good.
No,
Don't
I
tell the
was
chief.
well, this is what happened. I was at Shut Road at the light. Light was red. I waited till it turned green. I started to go across. And 2 children, two kids on a bike, went this way as I was coming this way. I barely missed them. No helmets, 2 kids on a bike, which is always a no-no. And I realize you don't do licensing, but somehow it's got to be addressed. Even if the kids had not been seriously hurt, if there had been any damage to my car, I could sue the parents for damage to my car because that's how it works. But I would like to suggest that maybe, and this happened when I was very young at Mechanicstown School, the local insurance company and the police department set up we had bicycles then, set up a forum where they would let the kids come with their bikes, make sure there were reflectors on them. Back then we didn't wear helmets, but I would suggest somehow we look into this because someone's child almost got seriously hurt. And that should not happen. The lady behind me was just as alarmed as I was. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bicycles or electric bikes?
I believe it was an electric bike. It had the wide tires. But there were 2 blonde-haired kids.
That can be very, very upsetting. Certainly, we're thankful, and I'm sure you're thankful for having missed them. Chief, I'm gonna let you take that.
The e-bikes are posing more and more of a hazard. More urban municipalities like New York City, for example, and others have imposed very strict regulations on e-bikes, where they're allowed in some cases, we've had e-bike riders run from us when our officers tried to stop them. And we, as part of our policy as an accredited agency, have to evaluate whether the risks to the public outweighs the risk if we pursue the person. So is there a risk if we don't catch this person and should we chase them, risking the public? And they're learning to be more effective in the ways they evade us now. When they start jumping on sidewalks and going against traffic on one-way streets, we're not gonna pursue that. If it's a reasonable time of day where it's not crowded, middays tends to be a problem on Shut Road. So as we are getting more aggressive with our enforcement efforts, they're finding ways to counteract our enforcement efforts. As far as the bicycle safety training goes, that's a great idea. We did this a number of years ago when Mr. Ron Stump used to live in the town, but he moved out since then. We had great support for an effort like that, but with some number of, we actually had sponsorships. I know, I don't want to speak for any of the bike shops, but I know some of the bike shops are always looking to be involved in those events, and in some cases in the past, they've actually donated bicycles and safety equipment. I'm sure we can get Walmart and others to sponsor it, but that would be for bicycles. E-bikes, I'm not really sure if that's something to consider. It's a relatively new technology, but I appreciate you sharing that, and we'll certainly look into continuing our enforcement action while at the same time looking to put together some sort of safety course. Maybe a little tough to pull off this summer. It's gonna be August or something.
I'm sure you can't do it now, but another thought I had as you were speaking, there is probably businesses that, you know, might have caught these two children on the bike. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but if they would share it with you, maybe kind of identify them and they'll have a good talking to them.
We could put an effort into that. We certainly have traffic cameras about the town, so we do, they may be helpful in this case.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anyone else wish to speak and address the town board? All right, very good. We'll close this section. Mr. Johnson, we're closing this section.
Job. Second that.
Just saying, the last couple of times you missed that.
I did.
All right, moving on here. Town of Wallkill EMS has their stats for today. So we'll listen to that.
Apologies for not getting to this before the meeting. We had an all-day training at the station and I just barely got here. As always, I'm sorry for putting my back to everybody here. Alexandria Morris, the Executive Director, Town of Wallkill EMS. Quick reminder, all of our calls are EMD by the 911 center. We don't determine the priority ourselves by national standard. For alpha level calls, we go no lights and sirens, so they expect the slowest response by nature. And then anywhere from Bravo as it goes up, like A, B, C, D, E, they get progressively more serious. We don't drive any faster, it just changes what kind of equipment and what kind of personnel go to those calls. So as always, for the month of June, we had 591 in-district requests for service. So that was about 19.7 requests per day. The total number of requests for everywhere in the county, including our mutual aid partners that we received, was 714, which bumped up our average to 23.8. And the total number of calls that we responded to out of that was 681 calls. So about 22.7 responses per day to these calls. Our busiest, yes, it is. Our busiest call volume days, top four, June 3rd, we had 27 in-district responses out of our 31 total. June 11th, 25 in-district out of 26 total. June 25th, 26 in-district, 27 total. And June 26th, 24 in-district and 28 total. So that's in the 24-hour calendar day. Our average response times, starting with Alpha, which again is a no lights and sirens response inside of the town. Our average response time was 9.14 minutes, going up to Bravo, 6.22 minutes. Charlie, and again, it gets progressively more serious there, 5.82 minutes, Delta, 6.99 minutes, and Echo, 4.34 minutes. So an echo would be like a cardiac arrest, a choke, a drown, things of that nature. Whether or not the town board decides to accept our outliers this month, as always, we meet the minimum contractual obligations, even if we don't take out our outliers. So obviously, if we take out the outliers, if it's agreed upon by the board, we most certainly meet all of the minimum obligations of the contract. Just to recap our dropped calls for the month, we dropped 2 Alpha calls, 2 Bravo calls, 3 Charlie, and 1 Delta. So that's a total of 5 calls. So out of the 591 requests, there was only 5 that we were unable to respond to, and therefore had to utilize mutual aid partners to respond to. All calls were responded to. Our average response time for any lights and sirens response was 6.14 minutes. Here, as always, I have a list of any of the outliers, if we're an outlier, whether we dropped it, why we dropped it, what happened, as well as some individual commentary. Mr. Johnson, I do apologize. Somehow this is the first month in a while that I missed putting the words in there. So I do apologize. I will get that updated and I will reissue it to include the words for the record. So sorry about that, Mr. Johnson. I feel like I'm in like high school again. I'm like, oh man, it's mostly done, I swear. So just to summarize it, just to not waste anybody's time here, there's a total of 14 outliers, which equates 2.37% of our volume. So while every call is important, that is still a small percentage of our volume. 8 of them were high concurrency call volume. So what that means is we had more calls than we had anybody to respond, period. And those are difficult to manage because if you could predict 911 calls, you would be a very, very rich person and cities would be very well organized. We had 3 incidences related to patient location. So we had one where a patient was off a trail significantly. And so we're using GPS coordinates to find them, which isn't really a skill that exists today, to be honest. Like geocaching, I don't really think is a thing anymore. So most people don't know how to use that. So that definitely took some time. We had 2 navigation errors, which we thankfully rectified how to solve that. And we had 1 turnaround incident at the hospital. So as our hospital gets busier, as more people are going there, sometimes it takes us some time to get out of the hospital. We cannot leave the hospital until not only is our patient transferred, but the care is transferred. So we need a signature from a credentialed provider at the hospital. So until they're willing to give that to us, we are not able to leave the hospital and respond to the next call. So obviously that means they were incredibly overwhelmed as well. It's not something they do to be rude, but they can't take over patient care until they're sure that they have the ability to. Questions?
I just had one.
Please.
So I was just looking at the overall calls.
Yes.
The 714 to the 591.
Yes.
Basically like 123 calls outside our district. Like how far out do you go for that? Is it just like the surrounding towns or is it much further than that?
So how far do we go? Typically mileage wise is not very far because what's actually happening is agencies from around the counties, including Ulster, Sullivan, are actually coming through us to get to the hospital. So we might go into Pine Bush to intercept somebody from Ulster County as they're coming into the hospital. We have gone to Warwick a handful of times, like actually made it on the ground in Warwick, as crazy as that sounds. And usually that's 100% ALS related, where they can't move the patient because if they move them, they'll go into cardiac arrest without ALS intervention. We do intercept agencies as far as like Pennsylvania, but we do not cross the New York border. We don't even go to Port Jervis typically, but as they're incoming on, what is it, 86 now? 80, sorry. Well, 84, but what's 17 now? 86. So as we're coming in on any of these roads, that's typically where we're intercepting. Most of the times we're sending a full unit, it's to really close, so Goshen, Pine Bush, which I know isn't necessarily really close, but county wise.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and obviously we still maintain our minimum level of service in the town. So we need at minimum a transporting ALS unit. So that could be a BLS ambulance with an ALS fly car, because that makes a transporting ALS, or a standalone ALS ambulance has to remain in the district even when we go on our mutual aid. So if going on our mutual aid would bring us below that standard, we deny the mutual aid request unless it meets a minimum threshold of like the way we end a bus accident or like some kind of county level like thing that we can sit here and have an obvious conversation about why we went.
Perfect, thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. Anything else? So one thing I would like to add on the energy projects, if you don't mind, if I just add one quick thing, if there's any opportunity to collaborate with those organizations to bring training into our EMS department, obviously we didn't go to the Warwick fire. We've had lithium battery training in general, but the opportunities are limited. So if there's any opportunity to collaborate and even bring like online trainings or information that could be shared that's, that we can share with our staff. And I can't speak for PD and fire, but I'm sure they'd love to be included on that too. So if there's any opportunities to collaborate there, we really appreciate it.
All right, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Outstanding job.
much.
All right, let's move on then, shall we, to department heads and commissioner reports. Commissioner?
And so DPW, things are going very well. Our highway department's just finishing up some paving on Whistle, Mermaid, and Neptune. They assisted Orange County with the paving of Stony Ford Road where the bridge they had closed. Their paver broke down, so we helped them out for a couple of days, and the road is now open as of 10 o'clock this morning. They're about to start Excelsior Avenue. We have a community development block grant starting there next week. And as always, they're just doing a weed whacking, trimming around stop signs. They're doing some ditching on Reservoir Road, and they're patching roads that were affected by water main leaks that we had. Parks Department wants to remind you that Circle Park Summer Camp is being held now, Monday through Friday, until August 21st. During those days, the access is limited between the hours of 9 and 3. There are security guards and staff at the guard cabin, so they can certainly assist you if you need any help there. The beach hours are Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 6 p.m. and Saturday, Sunday, 11 to 7. Please do not drive in Circle Park with your vehicle. It's foot access only. This is for the safety of the children. And let's see, they've been doing a lot of building maintenance work. They've been able to accomplish a lot of things without having to contract them out. They're very proud of that. For example, this week they were able to repair one of our air conditioning rooftop units for $134 rather than having to hire it out. The Clean Streets program has up to 308 bags of garbage so far this year since April. So they've been cleaning up the roads and everything's starting to look very, very good. And our water department is happy that we've had some storms because it's brought our well levels up. They're working hard to get the water meter readings up to date. We have a project going on where we're changing out the water meters. So if you have not changed out your water meter, please call the water department to schedule that. It is free. There's no cost to you. But we need to get that done so you have the most updated equipment and we can continue to read and you don't get estimated bills. There is a little bit of a delay in our water and sewer billing this quarter. We have new staff working on those bills. They should go out by the end of this week, so thank you for your patience. We are now accepting payment at our water sewer treatment plant at 52 Golf Links Road rather than here at Town Hall. And let's see, they had a really bad water main break on Dunning Road last week. They got it fixed and they were sorry. They want to apologize for any inconvenience. It was a very bad break and it took a little bit longer than they anticipated. And if you have any questions with the water and sewer department, they are available 7 days a week and we encourage you to call. That's about it for DPW.
Thank you very much, Madam Commissioner. Chief Herb?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Just to continue on the vein of the commissioner sitting next to me, we talked about the water main break the other night, yes, the subsequent damage to the road. We had torrential downpours on Tuesday night, and DPW, our water department, Robinson did a great job fixing that water main rather quickly. But when they affected their repair and the floods came, when the deluge came the other night, half the town was going to get blown away by thunderstorms, tornadoes, or downpours, washed out part of the repair, and cars are driving over it, getting multiple flat tires. They came out, water department came out to repair the work that they temporarily put in place after the water main break in that downpour, and were able to put substance out there, they were able to prevent further damages to cars. So kudos to Rob and his team. The water department working in a rainstorm. Who's smart for doing that? Arrest data for the department continued to increase this year. We are up 10% year over year, so 682 versus 616. We're hoping 10 levels off and bias down a little bit going into the latter half of the year. Parking summonses are also increased 23%, primarily because one of our parking enforcement officers was out at the end of last year on a health issue. He has since returned, and he was a big driver of the number of summonses issued. Moving summonses are about even. We issue about 6,000 a year. We're about halfway there, 3,000 change. The next police community council meeting will be held at 7 p.m. on Thursday, August 6th. Tonight we're with us, Deborah, Gina, and our newest member, welcome Ashley Ford, who voted on last time for the board. For those of you who don't know, Ashley was one of the driving forces. We remember of our colleagues there, two of which are in attendance tonight with the Oak Ridge Apartments. We had some serious issues going on. They would drug transactions and other bad activity from some notoriously bad characters there, and working with the police department, collaborative effort, we're able to reduce the issues there. Our next police youth coalition meeting is scheduled for 7 p.m. on August 18th, and will be held at the community center, as well as community council meeting on, as I mentioned, Thursday, August 6th. We had our annual police versus youth softball game this past Sunday, July 19th. Thank Mark Coyne for showing up. We count on you to hit him off, but we didn't come through. You had to leave. And the town supervisor did a great job on hiring, a lot of good calls there. Thank you for,
Chief, I haven't received that check yet.
thank you for helping us out there. Nonetheless, despite the benefit of some calls that went our way, and I think the great valiant effort on the part of our officers, the police lost again. The score was 13-12. I pitched a complete game. Only gave up 13 runs in 6 innings. It's in the first. I was like, what I sent from the Mets on his return. This is the 12th straight win for you. And what we're going to consider is, we'll constantly review our application process for new officers. I think what we need to do is a better job at vetting new hires and see if their skillful experience and maybe get a little more defense out there. That's going to have a final say, I believe, or somebody.
They should try out there first.
There you go. National Night Out is coming up, August 4th, on Tuesday, August 4th, excuse me, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Wallkill. It's a great event. If you haven't been before, please join us. There's a lot of food. We give away t-shirts, about 1,000 people coming in. This is by far the greatest event in the area. Great sponsors, great support from our community council, our town board. Everyone shows up for our event. It's a great effort between ourselves and our partners in the community. It's a collaboration to show that we want to take a stand against crime, and we want to send that message to the bad actors in our town. Speed trailer requests can be submitted through the police department website, so Wallkill police department.com. Maybe it's not working down, but you go to our website, just go with Wallkill, it's all right. Unfortunately, the supervisor apologized. They just tweaked the website. You're going to be getting the request also. We're working on alleviating that. But they come to me, so it's, I think they come up to DPW too, so we'll figure it out, but I apologize, we'll get that tweet.
No need, we're good.
But we have a new speed trailer and it has a large variable message board on it, and we're not getting a lot of requests for it, so it's available for your neighborhood. And what the speed trailer does, and I just shared a report with Councilman Johnson tonight, and previously we shared a report with members of the town board and supervisor in particular at Scotchtown Culver Road. And it showed that 70% of vehicles there was being redirected, targeting enforcement action, which I'll speak about in another meeting. So what we do is we put the speed trailer there. It's not just a message board that flashes slow down, you're speeding, or the case is. It also records data, and the data allows us to accurately determine our response. So when we get a printout of the time period where the speed trailer is at the location, it'll narrow down the times when we get the most bang for our buck. When the most people are speeding, that's where we want to target our enforcement activity, because like I said, we get the most productivity when address it like that, rather than just have officers there at every location all the time, first thing possible. And then lastly, as we discussed at the last meeting, we had a great plan in place for July 4th to address those who were being overzealous with consumer fireworks, and certainly those using commercial grade fireworks, which we had last year on Maple Avenue. The plan this year was that, and we had a building inspector working with investigators from our department, and they were available to respond. The purpose of the plan was to have a subject who was presenting a hazard in our community to face potential civil increment simultaneously. We haven't done this before. It was done in response to the serious number of incidents, and the one incident on Maple Road was Maple Avenue, so last year. But maybe they heard how Lance was working this year. Fireworks lights were down 10%, but it could have been partially because of the weather. There was a lot of rain, and there was only a limited opportunity there that even the ability to shoot up fireworks wasn't down for. So, but nonetheless, we're going to continue with this program. Had great success this year. Results speak for themselves. So I'll leave the same program again. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you very much, Chief. You're welcome. Al, buildings.
Thanks, Brandon. As far as the building department for the month of June, we issued 223 permits, mainly for new roofs, new decks, walls. It's the season, we're getting a little busy. We issued certificates of 103. We collected a total of $89,808 on all the fees for all the applications that we received. We responded to 58 complaints. Some of them are into the court system. Most of them, I'd say probably about 90 of them, 90% of them have been rectified, and we responded and completed 1,213 inspections. Our permits go for a year when it's residential, goes for 2 years, which is commercial. So
Our staff is pretty busy, especially nowadays, with the weather. I also want to, give kudos to our newest principal clerk, Pastor Carey Sherrington, which his nickname is Ozzy. He's doing very well in his training efforts related to a building clerk. Many of you or may not know, there is a new firehouse being built in Howells, off of New Vernon Road. This is proceeding very well. It looks great. It kind of fits right in with the neighborhood there. And we're hoping that they can possibly occupy, by late fall this year. And lastly, Chick-fil-A, Boston Market demo has been completed. Everybody's wondering what's going on there. We did have a pre-construction meeting held this past Monday. Permits were issued to construct the new Chick-fil-A, and they're anticipating opening early next year. If anybody has any questions for me, I'm available after this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Al. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. My backpack donations are down this year. I sent out an email. Boys and Girls Club does the Backpacks for Hope program every year. And they do help several hundred children that are underprivileged with backpacks and supplies. So if you have a few dollars, you don't have anything to do, Amazon, you can ship it right here at Town Hall. We will make sure that Boys and Girls Club gets it. They try to close that out around the 10th of August so that they can distribute the items. Jane Dever, who was the zoning board stenographer for 46 years, retired about, I think, a month ago. She's been gone. She has been at the hospital for 40 of those years as an employee. Great lady. I've known her for the better part of 37 years. So I thought maybe we could invite her to a town board meeting and maybe just acknowledge what she did for the ZBA. Her minutes were always pristine, and she's just a great lady. Last week, we received the information from our friend Paula Kay for the $10,000 grant for the feral cats. Michelle Baker and Georgette are my buddies on that because I opened the file and said, yeah, I don't know anything about this. So Michelle and Georgette are going to get all of that filed. And Paula would like to come to Town Hall and do a little presentation for that money once we get it. And on a personal note, of that 591 cases that TOEM's had in the month of June, I was one of those cases. And I have to say that I was scared, my family was scared. Those people were so professional. I think it was a paramedic that I had, a young lady, who unfortunately didn't know who I was. I was like, hey, I'm like a superstar here. So it wasn't that I got treatment because of who I was. And it was a bumpy ride, but it was a good ride. And I can vouch for the fact that they can't leave you in the ER until someone takes you. And of course, I was a nobody there. So I was number 12 on a stretcher waiting in the hallway. And those two folks stayed with me the entire time. And I said, well, what happens if there are other calls? And they said, well, until someone signs off on you, we can't leave you. And I just have to say, Alex, that it was a very scary day, but I knew I was in good hands. And I want to thank, I just want to thank them for taking good care of me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Let's move up to the dais here, and we'll go to Mr. Coyne.
This Saturday, 9 a.m. for a Grand Slam on 302. Register a team for cornhole tournament. It's $60 per team, so it's $30 for each of you. Tournament starts at 10. It's a great fundraiser. They do it in, I want to say March and in the summer. So again, that's this Saturday. Unless you're like playing in a league, the last 10 years, you're not winning. You know, you're just not. I mean, the competition there is just ridiculous. They show up with their bag, they got bags, they carry their bags, their bean bags, it's insane. They got jerseys. And it's just nothing but the whole, every bag that comes out of their hand. But you know what, it's fun. You know, again, it's a fundraiser for the firehouse. Great people, good fun. Hope everybody show up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Soleo.
Thanks very much. Madam Clerk, so glad and so relieved with your good results. I had a joy yesterday of joining the Boys and Girls Club hosting seniors at the Circleville Park. The summer camp was there in full bloom, and it was a lot of fun. The kids got the seniors out on the paddle boats, and it's something that I look forward to participating again. I saw joy from the seniors just getting that much time with kids on a beautiful day, thankfully. Thanks to Commissioner PW, as always, Michelle responded quickly to a request that I had from a Ward 2 resident, this time having to do with geese. The response was fast and detailed, including maps, and made it very clear, and something that I was proud to be able to share. Also thankful that areas of Ward 2 are getting the attention from the department with the potholes getting filled. Dundee Circle also visited there from much improved situation. So as always, thank you for what you do and for your whole team. Want to put a plug in for Project Linus, the blankets. Those folks surpassed 25 years activity here at Town of Wallkill and elsewhere, and they use West Warren Drive Community Center. It's a great location for people from quite a distance to come. Plug for projectlinus.org, making blankets. It's even met some kids who were recipients of the blankets and now part of the program, making blankets for others. Excellent experience. And the HBCU tour hosted by the Town of Wallkill under the auspices of County Legislator DeShonda Carter, co-hosted with Manisha Maldonado. Excellent opportunity for youth to come out and see education opportunities and tours of seeing multiple colleges, and very happy to participate in that. And our supervisors speaking at the event as well. So thanks to that. And lastly, kudos to the umpire who even withstood my appeal to him out on the field during the police versus kids.
I didn't get that check either.
Where I said, I do believe that the kids at 10-0 won. Didn't have to make the adults endure any more embarrassment. But that's for another time. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Vanilla.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Just one simple thing. August 29th is the fireworks.
It's true.
Yep. So it got July 2nd, it got delayed because of the weather being too hot. So our fireworks are August 29th. And just
28th.
I'm sorry, 28th.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The Friday.
Sorry. That's right. And just keep an eye out there for people on motorcycles and bicycles. I wear a helmet, but yeah, you're right. The kids on the bikes can be a little daunting. Yeah, that's all I got. Enjoy, everybody. Enjoy the summer.
Thank you very much. On to Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Supervisor. And let me just say that, you know, you heard the commissioner mention we did have some rain, and rain is great, but the rain we're getting is not the rain we need. Heavy rain causes more runoff, less infiltration. Infiltration is how the water gets into your well. That's when you need it. So even though you've seen rain, we still technically are in drought conditions. So please refrain from outside water usage. Don't water your grass. It'll go dormant. It'll come back. Go to the car wash for your car. They recycle the water. It's much better for our environment and our water. I have to say, lately, looking at all the things that go on politically on all levels, there's a lot of people complaining and a lot of people upset, right? So I just want to say that it's not about being upset. It's not about being concerned and complaining. It's about acting, right? So what you need to do is you need to seek a solution, right? The right solution, not a Republican solution, not a Democratic solution, the solution that's best for all of us, right? That's what needs to happen. We do that by voting. You need to vote for the best person for the job who's going to represent you and your fellow constituents. Please take your time, do your research, right? Understand what's going on, ask questions, get to know them. It's so important. I mean, we focus blame on the past. That's not really what we should be doing. We should be taking our responsibility and looking to the future to make the change that we need to see. And that's what needs to happen to make our country the greatest country on the earth again, because right now it's probably not. So it bothers me to see what's going on. You know, you hear people talk about cuts to things like Social Security, which is a payroll tax, right? So if you have a cut to Social Security, that money doesn't get to be used for wars or anything else. It's in a payroll account that we paid into it, and it should stay there. So again, make your best choices, vote intelligently, do your research, don't vote a party line, vote for the people that are going to do the right thing for us and hopefully restore, you know, what I was always so proud to say I was an American for. So it is summer. Enjoy your family. It's family time. It's vacation time. You heard me mention that before. Get out, go places, do stuff daily, weekly, whatever. Those memories that you make with your kids and your family members will be way more important to them forever than anything else you could have ever done. So please take the time to enjoy your families and friends for whatever's left of July and August before us guys have to go back to work. Ooh. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. Well said, Mr. Johnson, well said. A couple touchbacks here on some of the stuff that you just heard or that just happened. Just a reiteration on the water meter thing. I can't stress enough how important it is that we take advantage of these opportunities when they're out there for us to update our tech so that we can have more accurate billing in the water and sewer department, specifically for the water meters. And so if you have not taken advantage of signing up and getting your meters swapped out, please do take the commissioner's advice. Jump on that. Estimated bills are no good. You're just throwing money away. So, and while we are happy to take it, not really, we want you to get the most accurate billing you can get. So please take advantage of that. I was very happy to be at HBCU this past weekend on Saturday with Legislator Carter and Mr. Soleo, among others. It was an excellent opportunity, a first salve, if you will, on historically Black colleges and universities. And again, a lot of interesting information out there. And, you know, the simple fact is that historically Black colleges and universities get underplayed here in New York State because there aren't a lot of them in profile for New York State residents. And so they have to make a real effort. And we have a diverse community. And so it's important to represent that community in the educational, secondary educational process. So it was wonderful to be able to be included in that and to offer up the community center and whatever support we could to Ms. Carter's endeavor on that. So thank you, Don, for being there with me. And it was great to see the kids. They were very excited and enthusiastic. There was a drum corps there. It was like, what was the name of that movie? There was thank you very much. Drumline. It was wow. That's all I'm going to say. It's wow. Mr. Soleo mentioned the fireworks. We're doing fireworks 2.0 on the 28th, which is Friday. A little bit later, go time is because the sun goes down a little bit later, but our start time is roughly the same. So most of the information that was there on the 2nd will be there for the 28th. Please do come out and join us. This is an entire week of celebrations as we go into Labor Day weekend. I'm just going to tell you, because, you know, that's not the 28th. Well, it's our party. It's not the biggest party, although I think we're the only ones that have fireworks. I'm going to tell you that there's a bunch of other things happening. On the 29th, Saturday, Fiesta Latina is happening over in the Hudson Valley American Latino Coalition, and they are doing a presentation, a festival from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. over at Rivers Edge Ranch, which is at 525 Stony Ford Road in Middletown. Check that out. It is going to be an absolute blast. Fun, food, family, dancing, music, the whole 9 yards. So I would wholly support anybody coming out and doing that for sure. I think I'm going to be there, so I'm kind of excited about that. And then, of course, on the 26th, which is just a little bit earlier in the week, back to school barbecue is happening. So save the date. There's at Fowler Field in Middletown High School from 4 to 7 p.m. There's a back to school barbecue that's being co-sponsored Middletown Police Department, Middletown City of Middletown, and the large City of Middletown School District is putting that on to get ready to go back to school. So the 26th, the 28th, the 29th, all kinds of stuff happening. A little bit earlier in the month on August, though, you get an opportunity to help your fellow man by giving some blood. This is really important. I'm sure that there are a few individuals here that have had firsthand experience on that, maybe giving, maybe receiving. There's a blood drive here at the Town of Wallkill Community Center, at 79 West Warren Drive, that is going on, sponsored by the Lions Club, happening from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on August 5th. So please, if you have an opportunity and you have an hour to spare, please come out, donate a pint. Those of you who know your blood type, I am O neg, so that's kind of that's a hot one, I believe. At least that's what I was told. Come out and give a pint. It's really important. Save a life. Also, August 6th, another Spill the Tea. Come out and talk to me. I will be here on August 6th, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. here in Town Hall. Come and talk to me about your concerns about the town. Hear a little bit about what's going on in the town. Some of the stuff that we are talking about that doesn't necessarily make it to the radio waves. Some of the stuff that happens in work sessions that is just getting milled about. Maybe you have an idea or opinion about it. We did talk a little bit about the battery storage stuff. We talked a little bit about election law stuff and term limits. These are the things that we'll be kicking around. You got questions, I'll tell you what's going on. If you got questions spurred from that, or if you got something going on in your world you want us to know, want me to know, that's your opportunity to do it. Have a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and share it with me and share your thoughts. That's happening on August 6th, 7 p.m. I'm sorry, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Chief shouted out National Night Out, the 24th National Night Out. That's happening on August 4th, 4th to 6th. We're just loading up August. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. over at the Little League Field. But again, fun, food, family, ice cream, DJs, all kinds of stuff, games going on, entertainment, fire and police displays. It's just a lot of fun. So if you have an opportunity to come out and visit us then, by all means, please do. Chief puts on a pretty good show, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty good. Keeping in line with shows, there's a lot of stuff that happens at our community center on West Warren Drive that people don't actually catch wind of. And this is some of the stuff that I'm gonna tell you. The quilters were down there and went and saw those folks. That's amazing to me. One of the things that I'd like to put on the radar for everybody at Spotlight here for tonight, swing music. If you're into swing music, there's a little big band down at the community center. They're down there performing every from 1 to 3 on Tuesday, August 4th. So there you go. They're every first and third Tuesday of the month. Go and check them out. They're really good. I'm going to tell you right now, I've actually seen them years ago. I saw them. My father was a big swing band guy, the Tommy Dorsey era, and Benny Goodman. And these guys can hold their own. They're the real deal. So check out some live music. It's, you know, maybe they're going to put out a jar. I'm not sure, but it's free. So go. And if you're feeling so inclined, maybe cut a rug because it's a lot. It's great exercise. That's for sure. Coming up on the last little bit here, Dial-A-Bus is hiring here at the town. So if you're looking for a gig, you know someone who's looking for a gig, you can drive a bus for us. We're looking for both full-time and part-time. Give us a call, 845-692-7852. Come and work for a great town. That's pretty much all I've got. I just want to remind everybody there is a QRL code here. Grab a piece of paper. If you want to know what's going on in town and you don't have an opportunity to drive by and see our LED signs, you can just snap that QRL code and you'll see what's going on here in the town. And as I'm sure you just heard, there's a lot. So, and we do like to keep that docket full. that's pretty much all I have here for today. Any other items to discuss, gentlemen? All right, well, I'm a little long-winded today, so I apologize for that. I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Mr. Johnson, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much for coming out. We'll see you at the next one.
9:04, dude, you're slipping.
I know. Thank you.